Welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, for this Nintendo News Daily. Before we jump into it, remember these streams are powered by Elgato. You can head on over to n64josh.com/Elgato and check out their new chair called the Embrace. They got more in stock yesterday. Don't know how long it's going to last. They look incredible. I have yet to go hands-on, but fingers crossed once they can finally get them in stock again, I should end up with one. I'm like, that's the chair I want. It is the chair I want. They look incredible. So they are back in stock right now. n64josh.com/Elgato. And I believe my code will work on it, N64Josh. So you can go check those out right now. But they do look fantastic. Now, let's jump into today's topics. We got a handful of headlines, and then we are also going to be talking about our the Kirby Air Rider review roundup, and just to see what people are thinking about it. So first up, as you guys know from last night, maybe you missed it, maybe you didn't, but Tomb Raider Definitive Edition out now on Switch 1, Switch 2, and it is on the eShop for $17.99. Now, I will say this about the game. I feel like it looks really, really good for a Switch 1 game and could use a little bit more love for a Switch 2 game. That's just from what I've seen, people saying. And it is an older game. I've seen comments on some of my videos, people saying, I can't believe I played this on my 360. So it has been out for a while. But if that's one that has, maybe you wanted to jump into the series, or maybe you just really love it, it is available on Switch 1 now and Switch 2. Outbound brings camper van crafting and open world trips to Switch 2 next year. So the game is Outbound. They have an announced trailer. Here's the little blurb from the company. It says, Outbound is an open world exploration game set in a utopian near future. Start with an empty camper van and turn it into the home of your dreams. Alone or together with friends, build and explore at your own pace. Scavenge materials, craft and build in and on top of your vehicle with modular parts. Advance in technology and efficiency. Use energy to power your home. Adjust your playstyle to adapt to new landscapes and changing environmental conditions. So very cozy vibes here. Some serious cozy vibes with Outbound. From the article from Nintendo Life here, it says the trailer above will give you a good idea of the gameplay blend the small team is working up, but it looks to be combining elements of open world exploration, co-op with up to 3 players if you want, with camper van decoration, crafting, farming, cooking, patting the dog, all the cozy things you might want wrapped up in a Firewatch-esque art style. So there you go. I see a handful of people have jumped in. Byzantium, what's going on? Brandon, hello. Joey Pitts is lurking at work. Stay safe out there. Stay safe. Don't get caught. Don't get caught listening to Nintendo Talk Radio at work. Yeah, but Outbound looks pretty cool if you're into those cozy games. So make sure to check that one out coming next year. PGA Tour 2K25 is teeing off on Switch 2. Said, well, here's another port that we weren't expecting. This is from Nintendo Life. It says, despite teeing off on the other systems back in February, 2K Sports has today announced that PGA Tour 2K25 will also be swinging onto the Switch 2 at some point in the future. It says, yep, we're a little vague about the release date, and it was completely intentional. We know that the latest PGA Tour entry is coming our way sometime down the line, but we have no specifics on when just yet. I'm excited. Like I'm not sure that I will run out and pick this one up, but I do enjoy a good golf game. I really, really do. And to see this making its way to Switch 2, like I played some of the PGA game on Switch 1, looked pretty muddy, ended up moving over to my Xbox and playing it over there just because it looks so much better. So fingers crossed that we're going to see a very competent version of this game over on Switch 2. And I'm here for it. Who knows? Maybe they'll add some some motion controls. What do you guys think? Would you would that be what tips the scales for you to jump in and try PGA Tour 2K25? I see Pokemon Fan is here. Welcome on in. Good to see you. So it is great to see we're seeing so many great sports titles making their way to Switch 2. Madden, NBA 2K, EA Sports FC, and WWE 2K, all on the Switch and all running well. So very exciting stuff there. This little bit of news is I don't know that I love this. Pokemon Fan says saying hi before I go back to sleep. Hey, sleep well. Sleep well. But Capcom says it has no plans at this stage for a Resident Evil Requiem demo. No, try before you buy. The little blurb from them just says our development team is doing its best to make sure that it's creating the best quality game and to make sure that it's a fine product. I played it. I went hands-on with it. It felt like Resident Evil, like one of the modern Resident Evil games. I enjoyed it. You know, it wasn't doing anything revolutionary. It wasn't some like mind-blowing experience, but it was very much doing what it set out to do and doing that well. So I think demos are always a good thing, just to give people, you know, a little more, just give them a bit more information before they make that purchase. You know, give them let them try before they buy. But it isn't, so far it doesn't seem like it's happening with this one. Sometimes that changes depending on sales, but I think this game is going to sell very well. And honestly, the deal that they are doing for Switch 2, and maybe it's on other systems as well, but basically getting 3 games for around $90 is a fantastic deal. So I'll probably end up going that route. I don't know if you can do it digitally or you can only do that through the key cards. I'm hoping you can do the same deal digitally, but I haven't gone on to check yet if that's something that can be pre-ordered. So, but I am looking forward to this one, and it was a lot of fun on. I played it on PS5. It was great. It was great. It had that very eerie, you know, Resident Evil vibe to it, and I would recommend. So, looking at chat real quick, Pokemon Fan says still waiting for Pokemon Coliseum and Gale of Darkness to come to GameCube NSO, hoping for one this year. Hoping if I say it enough, it will happen. There you go. There you go. I love it. I hope it happens for you as well. I want to hear from you guys on this next headline. It says consumers generally do not care about AI in games, says former Square Enix exec. Article reads, GenVid CEO Jacob Novak, the former director of business at Square Enix, has shared his 2 cents worth on the ongoing debate around the use of AI in game development. While it's far from a glowing endorsement of the practice, Novak argues that most players generally do not care about it. This comes via Games Radar. For all the anti-AI sentiment we are seeing in various articles, Navik wrote in a recent post on X, it appears consumers generally do not care. Alongside the successful launch of Arc Raiders, the source of Navik's argument is Steal a Brain Rot, the Roblox game that has racked up 30 million concurrent users, approximately 80 times the Arc Raiders concurrence. Earlier this year, despite being, quote, named after, based on AI slop characters, the game tasked players with stealing voxel characters modeled on AI-generated creature meme Italian brain rot, and if those numbers weren't telling enough, has proven immensely popular. The quote continues, Gen Z loves AI slop, does not care, wrote Novak. The upcoming generation of gamers are Bane in Dark Knight Rises saying, you merely adopted the slop, I was born in it. Oh boy. Oh boy. This follows a handful of high-profile cases of AI-generated images appearing in this year's biggest releases, with both Call of Duty Black Ops 7 and Arc Raiders being dragged through the mud at launch while still putting up huge sales numbers regardless. Yeah. And yet, art and voice work are just the tip of the spear when it comes to AI being used in the industry. Navik continues. Many studios I know are using AI generation in the concept phase, and many more are using Claude for code. It will be hard to find a non indie title that isn't using Claude for code, he concluded, and ignoring Claude's AI use because it's code while focusing purely on art shows that a lot of AI sentiment is being driven by emotion rather than logic. The article concludes with, of course, high player counts for Roblox slop game or Arc Raiders aren't to suggest that everyone is on board with AI implementation. While some studios like EA are diving headfirst into it, we've seen great swaths of studios, big and small, standing opposed to the idea, and our social feeds are constantly awash with disappointed fans after the discovery of their favorite series franchise games have hopped on the AI trend. So I want to hear from you guys in chat. What do you think about these? What do you think about these quotes and the use of AI? Hey, 80811 says, yeah, but the people playing that are 5 years old that probably don't know the difference when it comes to Roblox. No question. Yeah, no question there. That's that is such a Roblox will be the like we literally talked about it last night, like Ubisoft saying that, like, or maybe it was yesterday's in yesterday's news saying that, like, you know, people aren't buying as many games. 30 million concurrent players in Roblox. That's where there's some of your reason right there. Kids can play that stuff and they don't seem to mind, and it is crazy to me. It, like, I've played some Roblox, like, you know, the dress to impress or whatever it's called, just as, like, kind of to meme on the stream. But, like, it doesn't look good. It didn't seem all that, like, it's almost like you have to game with your imagination when it comes to that stuff. But I don't, for some reason, I don't think people seem to mind all that much. At least the younger generation that's playing and grew up with Roblox. So my biggest thing is I don't want to see people replaced for AI. Like, AI can be a great tool and can speed up the process on certain things, sure, but it should not replace that human element, that human touch that makes that's what makes things special in my mind. And so, you know, I also immediately start to discount this guy's take because he's a CEO, and it doesn't matter who you are. CEOs see things as, like, what can help the bottom line, and they view AI as something that can continually help the bottom line, regardless if it can be done correct or not. And I mean, like I I use AI to help me get things done quicker, doing research, whatever. But it's also not like, if I'm working with it, I have to double check it regularly, or I have to point out when it's wrong. If it's I'm trying to do some research on things and I'll be like, that doesn't seem right. I'll go and check, and it's not correct. So it's not perfect. And you can also see it. You can see, like, the Call of Duty, Black Ops 7, the use of the AI, like, it looks like AI. You can tell. And that to me is a turnoff. I'm not about it. So I'm not about it. Goto 10 Gaming says our 11-year-old loves Roblox. Yeah, it's unlimited games. And I think there's some good things about it, for sure. Like, it also teaches kids to make games and to create, which is fantastic. Like, that's all a good thing. It's what it's doing to the gaming industry. I don't know is such a great thing if you are a big fan of like just regular, console gaming, even PC gaming to a certain extent. That's where like there's literally kids that will probably stick with Roblox well into being adults because that's where their nostalgia's at. That's where they've always had fun. And I mean, I get it. Like, why am I sitting here talking about Nintendo? It's because as a kid, I grew up with Mario. Like that's the truth. So does that end up happening? I mean, I think so. I see kids well into their teens still playing Roblox and having a good time with it because they started at such a young age. So I see Cryptic is here hanging out. Hay says, "Isn't Crafton becoming an AI first company?" That's very possible. I'd have to look into it to know more. So I see some follows happening over on Twitch. Thank you so much. Joey Pitt says Roblox is the only game you don't want to see, Diddy. This is true. Yeah. Go to 11. It's the same with Minecraft. Then the movie came out about, yeah, like, and that kind of stuff. I mean, I think that's great. I think it's, I took the kids to see the Minecraft movie. It was a lot of fun. Steve's Lava Chicken. I'm here for it, So Goto 10 Gaming says, is there a Roblox movie on the horizon? I mean, if they can figure out a way to make it profitable, that company also Roblox just prints money. Like they literally print money. It's kind of crazy. So, Cryptic says, I don't mind AI if it's used to speed up tedious tasks, but not replace art 100%. Yeah. That, like, I think it can be a useful tool, but like how many jobs were lost at Microsoft recently? And I say Microsoft as like, Bethesda, Activision, all those, because they basically said we want to invest more in AI. Like, and if you listen to some people talk about it, they're like, AI is going to replace the majority of jobs happening where you sit at a computer. Like, so it's going to affect everything potentially. So we have seen so many crazy leaps in technology over the last 20, 25 years. And it's just it's not slowing down. It's crazy. It's crazy. So Ty says, I bought the game and have not played the demo or anything, hoping it is good. Are we talking about Kirby AirRiders? Because we're going to be getting to our review roundup here very soon. So next up on the news here, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 Switch 2 edition announced, includes free upgrade for Switch 1 owners. So that's great. It's good to hear. Another update here. It says, ahead of the launch, the One Piece Pirate 4 Switch 2 edition, later this week, Bandai Namco shared some new trailers for Character Pass 3 DLC number 7, Future Island Egghead Pack, which will arrive the same day as this particular release. Once again, the upgrade pack will be free for existing Switch players when it launches on the 21st of November. So this week, right around the corner here. So this is not a game that I'm like, that I know zero about it, but because so many people listen, I want to make sure that that everything gets covered. So if this is something you are looking forward to or have been playing, you have the Switch 2, you're going to be getting that free update on the 21st of November, which is super, super cool. Love that. This headline put a smile on my face. Among Us meets Stardew Valley. The collab is now live and includes free Stardew Cosmic Cube. So the online multiplayer hit Among Us has dabbed in all sorts of crossovers over the years, and its latest event is teaming up with the insanely popular farming, lifestyle, and social sim Stardew Valley. The Stardew Cosmic Cube, a special item featured Themed cosmetics you can unlock will be available from now until the 18th of February. It is completely free during this time, and you'll be able to unlock all sorts of goodies. Here's the official description. It says Stardew Cosmic Cube will be available for a limited time from November 18th to February 18th. And the best part, it's free. Get enough beans, and these crops can be all yours. Just get it before it withers away. So it looks like there's a handful of pets and skins and hats and all kinds of stuff. So it may be a good reason to jump back into Among Us if you are a Stardew fan. It does show a handful of the costumes. They look pretty fantastic. They look pretty good. So let's see. I want to get to the chats here. Goto 10 says it's inevitable, much like computers, CGI, the internet, etc., came about and replaced jobs. Yeah, no question. Sometimes sometimes entire industries, magazines, and newspaper, physical media, etc. Yep. Yeah. And Goto 10 says, is this the demo of AirRiders or the full version? You are seeing the footage you're seeing is from the global test ride. Yeah. Cryptic says, I don't like cartoons like One Piece anymore. Here we go. That's at Cryptic. The I is a 1 in the first I is a 1 if you want to speak to him in Discord. Next up here, TMNT Splintered Fate Wraith Invasion update now available. Mini boss Astral Wraiths, new rewards, and much more. Just taking a peek here at the article, it says Super Evil Megacorp has continued to release all sorts of updates for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate since it arrived on the eShop in 2024. And today it has launched the Wraith Invasion update. Astral Wraiths are now invading the game's campaign and can be found wreaking havoc on across New York City. New Wraith mini bosses can be found in the sewers and on the rooftops. And there's now a smoother unlock experience in the game's arcade mode. And so there's actually a pretty significant update. I'm not going to go through all the patch notes just because it is so long, but there is quite a bit here. So if you've been playing that game, or it's been collecting a little digital dust on your Switch, maybe a good reason to fire it up and check it out. So I don't know why Nintendo seems to be dragging their feet on this one, but the Hello Yoshi app is now available for Switch and mobile, but it's, as far as I know, it's only in Japan. We don't have these. In the update, the Japanese firm has now announced the new Yoshi-themed app for Switch and mobile devices like the Mario 1. Children and parents will be able to interact with this particular character face in all sorts of fun and interactive ways. So this app will be released for free on the Japanese eShop on the 18th of November and will also go live on the App Store and Google Play. But they're not in the States, which bums me out, because I know the toddler living here would have a great time with it. So Hayes says, what on earth is Hello Yoshi? So Hello Yoshi is a follow-up to Hello Mario. And basically it's an interactive app where it's kind of like if you've played Super Mario 64, where you can manipulate Mario's face by like pulling on his cheeks and moving his nose and that kind of stuff. It's something similar to that. Nintendo is essentially doing a whole line of kids like interactive apps, as well as like toys and books. And why more of it isn't in the States yet, I'm not quite sure, because I think a lot of us would be downloading it immediately. I mean, I was reading a Mario Golden book to the little one last night before she went to bed. And so any of this stuff would be great. And I keep seeing it pop up like on my X feed, and the blocks and all this stuff, the Hello Mario app, all of it. It looks like she would have a blast with it. So, and even Joey says, why isn't that in the US? My kid would love it. Exactly. So I'm not sure what the holdup is. I don't know if there's if they have to do a bunch of localization or something, it doesn't seem like there's it doesn't seem like there would be that much they would need to do. I don't think I'm not sure how much speaking the game has. It's mostly just playing with it. And the screenshots that they're showing, they're, obviously manipulating Yoshi's face, but then even helping him crack out of his egg. So just fun little stuff. It's not a ton here, but the way kids are on tablets and whatnot, it would be a great time for them. So that's going to do it for our headlines. Let's get into the Kirby AirRiders review roundup right now. Let's talk about the reviews for Kirby Air Riders. We are at Metacritic right now. It is currently sitting at a 78, which is that's kind of where I thought it would be. And we're going to jump into a handful of these reviews. First up, Silicon Era says, I knew I would like Kirby Air Riders since I enjoyed the GameCube original. This sentence feels wrong to read, but I'm going to do it anyway. It says, but I didn't expect this game to feel stronger than Mario Kart World. I gasp. It is also, it's so enjoyable and robust. There's room for both racers on the Switch too, of course. But if I had to pick a favorite, I'd never touch the other game again. I'd pick Kirby Air Riders every time. They gave it 100. So this is a shocking score. I don't typically trust the 100 score on Metacritic because it does seem like a way for this for these websites or these outlets to be at the top. And so also having to choose between the two and choosing Kirby Air Riders, that's crazy talk to me. But you guys also know I'm super biased when it comes to Mario Kart World, so that would never happen for me. But I love the hype. I really do. I really do love the hype. Next up is Vandal. They gave it an 88. It says this is a video game that might initially seem off-putting due to lack of understanding. It's difficult to grasp what's happening if you just walk past the screen without having played the game before. Even in the first few matches, it might seem simple or chaotic, but if you play a few more times, Kirby draws you in. You gradually internalize its many unique aspects, and it becomes increasingly difficult to resist playing one more of its brief but intensely intense matches. Like Sakurai's previous games, it has the spirit of Japanese arcade games. It's a game that offers immediate fun and gets better with each playthrough. Even more satisfying when enjoyed with friends online, or even better in local multiplayer, and it features a difficulty curve that is as unusual as it is rewarding, learning to control the chaos. And that, honestly, that really sums up how I feel about the game. When I during the test ride, when I kind of like stopped giving into the chaos and just like, okay, let me focus here. Let me get these controls down. Once that happened, I really felt like I had a good grasp on the game, and I'm like, okay, I get this now. Like, I get this. And there's some depth here, but it's going to take some time, like practicing it, coming up with like what, my favorite setups, my favorite builds, what kind of power-ups am I going to be going for in City Trial? What's the racing going to look like? Like when I kind of like jumped in with both feet and started looking at this as more than just that kind of Japanese arcade game, is a great way of putting it. I'm like, there's quite a bit here. Like, and I started having a really good time with it. But it's a strange kind of thing that I've mentioned before. Like you kind of have to slow down, think about what you're doing. And what I think is great is it's a lot like Smash. How many people do you know, or maybe even this is you, play Smash just by mashing buttons and then seeing what happens? When you start to understand the mechanics of Smash and how it really works, and how to control your character, and how to start doing combos and treating it more than just a party game button masher, the depth is crazy. And that's Sakurai. That's what, like, that's his MO. And so that review from Vandal really sums up how I've felt about this game from the go. So Joey says, I like the visuals of Kirby, but not for playing. I tried the demo. It unsold me. Felt like I was on some drugs with how much was going on. It is chaos. It is. And like, that's literally why I just said, like, when I slowed down and realized I didn't have to be like going everywhere, being everywhere, and trying to like constantly spin and be out of control. Once I got it under control, I'm like, oh, there's some levels of fun here. And so I started really having a good time with it. Why is the game off-putting, and why was it eating pudding in the here we go. Joey says, I'll take Mario Kart over Kirby. That's fair. Joey says, I felt like I was mashing buttons and watching long colors mash and move. Yeah. Or watching colors mash and move. There we go. I think there was a little typo there. That's how it feels from the start. And I feel very fortunate that the first few times I played it, I got to do racing against people before doing City Trial and then doing City Trial. So it was almost the perfect way of easing you into the game, so that you got a bit of a better understanding of it. And that was great. The racing itself is an entirely different thing than City Trial. And so it's a robust game. There's kind of something for everybody. And I love the way that Vandal review read. So next is Checkpoint Gaming. It says Kirby AirRiders is a surprise contender for Kart Racer of the Year, excelling well beyond its cult predecessor. The Pink Blob's latest adventure is filled with some excellent and surprisingly deep racing, where your skill, expertise, and management are what put you ahead of the pack. Its courses are gorgeous and intricate. City Trial is aptly chaotic, and the brand new Road Trip is thoroughly enjoyable, adventure filled with strategy and risk versus reward events. With a lot to see, tick off and do, along with accessibility options to refine your experience, Kirby Air Riders is crafted to be the kart racing event of the year. Eat its dust, Mario Kart World. That's crazy. It's crazy. So much hate for Mario Kart World. They can both exist. It's okay. GameSpot gave it an 80. A Game Reactor UK also an 80. We got looking at some of the I'm going to open up all the critic reviews here. There's a few that did not like it at all. So let's get to some of the middle of the road here. A lot of 80s and 75s. Combo Infinite Infito says Kirby Air Riders is fun, colorful, and full of modes, but ultimately too shallow to leave a lasting impression. The game runs smoothly at 60 FPS on Switch 2, and its cheerful art style fits the Kirby series, though it never showcases the hardware's true potential. The soundtrack and the full Portuguese localization, including narrator voices and cutscenes, are definite highlights. With traditional races, top-down stages, open area chaos, and small story mode, the variety is impressive, but none of the modes go deep enough to keep players engaged for long. The controls mix too many actions on a single button, creating confusion, and the visual clutter in the larger arenas hurts the readability. Kirby Air Ride succeeds as a casual party experience and works well for quick sessions for playing with the kids, but it lacks the depth and competitive appeal needed to stand alongside Nintendo's stronger racing titles. So now we're seeing the opposing side, right? Kind of leaning towards Mario Kart. So quite a few sitting at 70. A handful at 60. Comic Book gave it a 60. Metro Game Central gave it a 40. This is the most baffling Nintendo release of recent years, with a quasi remake of one of GameCube's worst games that seems specifically designed to irritate and confuse would-be players. Interesting. That's a pretty scathing review, honestly, which kind of shocked to see something so low. But that's the beauty of opinions, right? And trying to figure out who you jive with when it comes to the reviews, so that you can make informed purchases and not throw away any of that money. Joey says, I don't think if Kirby Air Riders, I don't think if here we go. I don't think if Kirby Air Riders got Diddy Kong, that would pull me in. Specifically for $70. 40, I'd maybe give it another go. Cryptic said, sounds like that reviewer needs pudding. Yes, absolutely. So I hopefully you guys try, like, the fact that Nintendo gave us those test rides, so that you can make that that informed purchase, if it's for you, if it's not. I've seen some polls, like M Swizzle had a poll on YouTube. He hosts the Mario Matter podcast. His poll was like, out of 6,000 votes, almost 60% said not getting. The other ones were yes at launch, yes but not at launch, or maybe. And the yes at launch and the later were less than the maybe. And like I said, almost 60% it was a no-go. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to jump deeper into this game and to create some content around it. And maybe that will help people better understand it a little bit, if it's something that's going to be fun for them for a long period of time. I'm hoping it's going to be a great stream game, honestly. That, who knows, maybe Wednesday nights are going to be Kirby Air Riders nights, and we get some decent sized rooms of people jumping in and doing city trial. I think that could be fun. So, yeah, and Cryptic's even saying, I want to see some streams with other game modes for me to pull the trigger. Yeah, which is exactly why I am excited to jump in and do just that. Because again, at the end of the day, it benefits me zero for you guys to purchase it. I just want to see people enjoying Nintendo games, and for games that like are maybe on the surface a little bit confusing. Well, that's what I can hopefully help you make those decisions. So appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out. Remember, as always, play it loud.